Although women sleep deeper than men, we struggle with falling asleep and staying asleep much more than men.
Welcome back to our 14-day masterclass, Your Journey to Soulful Sleep. I'm talking to Dr. Shelby Harris, psychologist, our ambassador of sleep, and author of the book, The Women's Guide to Overcoming Insomnia. Now, I felt that was a really eye-opener for me. I had no clue that women actually are more inclined to suffer from insomnia than men.
Yeah, women are at a rate of 3 to 2 from women to men. Although women sleep deeper than men, we struggle with falling asleep and staying asleep much more than men.
But why is that? Is that psychologically?
It's a combination of 3 different things. So one is physical, or biological, shall I say. So biological, there's hormones. It's just part of us. So we find that actually women and men, actually when they're kids, they have the same rates of sleep issues. And then when adolescence hits, women start to have more trouble with sleep, or young girls, and that's because of hormone issues. So every month around a woman's cycle, some women have trouble with sleep. So they might find they're either extremely sleepy or they have more insomnia. And then we find that there's sleep problems during pregnancy, once the baby comes, and then perimenopause and then postmenopause are big times of sleep shifts for women too. So it's just our hormones. And then the other things that we find are psychological. So women tend to have, in some cases, more rates of anxiety and depression and stress. So we tend to internalize that stuff, not be able to turn our brains off as easily. And then there's also social issues. So for some women, or many women, nowadays especially, women are working, they're taking care of kids, they're taking care of their home. They have so many more demands.
Women are superstars, right?
Superstars. Superstars. And we think about during the pandemic, there's even more that's piled on a lot of women as well. With learning from home, there's so many different things. And then the other thing we're finding too is that a lot of women are having children later in life, that when they have children, they also have parents who are getting older. So they're taking care of their older parents, they're taking care of their kids, they're working. They're pulled in so many directions, and we're really good at multitasking that it's harder to turn the brain off because we're just going. So there's 3 different main areas where women really are more likely to have insomnia.
Oh my gosh, that's really a big eye-opener. Because if we're talking about the biological factor, the hormones, I mean, men have hormones too, right?
Yes.
So why was it set up biologically that women wake up during certain cycles, or is there no reasoning behind?
No, there is. So, for example, when a woman in every month, when they're about to have their cycle, there tends to be drops in estrogen, and those drops are what actually can cause trouble with insomnia. And so then when we think about it during perimenopause, when you're about to stop having your cycle, that's when there's also these sharp drops in estrogen and progesterone, and those sharp drops are really what can cause trouble sleeping. But the other thing we see, because of the hormone shifts, are hot flashes, night sweats, racing brain. Those are all things that can be linked to the hormones. Yep.
Many friends of mine said to me, you know, I wake up in the middle of the night and then I can't sleep for hours, even when I go out of bed. That also is a hormonal...
Sometimes, yeah. A lot of times I hear this a lot. One of the reasons I wrote my book is because I had so many patients who were women in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, and it was because of that reason. And a lot of women don't think that they think that they're the only ones suffering from this. They don't talk about it. Now in our culture, I think we're talking about it more and more with perimenopause and menopause, which is wonderful. But hormones are definitely a big link to some of the problems.
Is there anything we can do about that then?
Yeah, there's many things. So if you have the occasional bad night here and there are things that you can look into, like all the stuff in the Masterclass that we're talking about.
Exactly.
There's, when we talk about your environment and cooling the environment, there's great bedding out there. There are mattress pads. There's all these great tech things that help with cooling your body so that you're not having these hot flashes as much, or that they damper them down a little bit.
Yes.
Or there's also technology for clothing that you wear at night. So if you wake up sweaty, there's technology that will actually wick away some of the sweat so you're not drenched at night. Then we can also talk about cognitive behavior therapy for insomnia. So it goes beyond the basic sleep hygiene stuff, and my book is one example of that, and that's a very evidence-based treatment for a lot of women all different stages who are having trouble with sleep. And then there's adaptogens, there's really great evidence for hormone replacement therapy for some women. And a lot of people shy away from it sometimes. It doesn't mean that everyone needs to go to it.
No, but it can help, right?
It can help, and it shouldn't be so taboo. So it really should be a discussion that you should have with your doctor. And if your doctor just tells you should just ignore your sleep because getting poor sleep
Find a
is you
different doctor.
Exactly. Get a different doctor who will listen to you, because you shouldn't suffer with poor sleep as you get older. There are so many options out there that you don't need to suffer.
Is it also true that when you get older, you tend to sleep less hours per night?
You know, that's a big myth that's out there. So as you get older, we were talking in one of the earlier classes about deep sleep, light sleep, all of that stuff that happens throughout the night. As you get older, you have less of that deep sleep. So it tends to be a little lighter. It tends to be a little bit more broken for various reasons, hormones, having to use the bathroom. But the sleep amount actually doesn't change that much. You might get a little less sleep. Sometimes as you get a lot older, people nap more during the day.
That might
And
be
when
it.
we look at it in a 24-hour period, it's actually about the same amount of sleep within maybe an hour. So if you start getting significantly less sleep as you're getting older, don't just assume that that's normal. Talk to your doctor about options.
So if actually women who are watching this want to have all the deeper insights and even a bigger understanding of how it influences them, they should actually get your book. Dr. Shelby Harris, The Women's Guide to Overcoming Insomnia.
Yeah.
Now in our next episode, we're going to talk about sleep disorders, the difference between not being able to sleep and sleep disorder.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some of the most common sleep disorders that at least I know we see in a lot of our practices here in America. And also other issues of when this basic stuff that we're talking about, if that's not enough, and when maybe you should see your doctor.
Look forward. Thank you.